Mom, are you excited?
Of course. I just gotta figure out where we're going.
I figured we'd go out and get on the highway somewhere. Well, this is goodbye. It's been a good run, but the time has come to trade Elwood in. And it kind of came as a pretty quick surprise. We've had an order in for a long-range rear-wheel drive Model Y since March of 2019. And now it's looking like that build might not be happening. So we decided to take the plunge and change our order with the help of a delivery specialist to an all-wheel drive long-range Model Y. But in Tesla world, things move fast. So once our order was officially changed over, they were able to let me know that, hey, we've got that exact build right here on the lot. So if you want to do that, we can have it ready for you as early as tomorrow. Naturally, I was pretty dumbfounded by this, and took me a second to wrap my head around tomorrow. Major life purchase and change in a day. But we figured, let's see if we can get it done. Got in touch with our credit union and working on getting the financing and everything squared away. And looks like we're right almost to the finish line. Last part of the purchase agreement and stuff is going through right now. And then I will forward it on, hopefully right after I'm done recording this. So hopefully that means tonight, either being dropped off here or picked up in Eden Prairie, we will have Elwood's brother Jake, our new blue Model Y. It's pretty exciting, and there's going to be plenty I'll cover about that, but I just wanted to take a minute to tell you how great this 2015 Model S 85D has been for us. It's changed a lot about how I understand electric vehicles, obviously being our first, but it's also changed the way I've thought about life in a lot of ways. And I won't go too deep into it, but it's really made me appreciate the things we can do when we put our minds to it. It's been a great vehicle for us. A couple minor pieces of maintenance, which I covered recently. In the 3.5 years we've had it, we've put on about 70,000 miles. So obviously we've driven it on a lot of great trips. My brother and I kind of giving it that first test on the drive out to Colorado and Pikes Peak and seeing what an electric vehicle road trip was like. And they've improved so much in that short time. And then just our quick speed run up to North Dakota last weekend, also in this vehicle. So we've done that. We've gone to Cincinnati. We've gone to Austin, Texas, over to Orlando and back up, all on electric miles. And it's something I couldn't have fathomed 4 years ago. There's been several nights I've slept in the car. I don't know if the next buyer is going to want to think about that. But, you know, it's been a camper. It's been a tent. It's been off-roader, which I don't know if that was a great idea. Really an enjoyable car to own. And it's going to be great for a long time in the future. It's still as I was cleaning it up, just blows my mind what a great car it still is. Now the next owner, or maybe Tesla between owners, will swap out the old MCU1 for MCU2, so the screen is a bit more responsive and able to take more of the new features, and it'll only ever have Autopilot 1. But it's a great feature and has saved my life, saved my wife's life, and it's a great driver assistance. And although it's been great, we're looking to switch to the Model Y now because it's a good spot where this is still in good condition from a trade-in value standpoint. Not great, but manageable. And we're hoping to keep the Model Y for the next 12 years. About 12 years ago, we bought, probably 13 now, we bought our Prius, and that was kind of a big leap into what is this hybrid technology. And it's still going strong. It's obviously, getting a little rusty, getting a little worn down, but it still gets great gas mileage and is still just a little ugly tank. And we're hoping this Y is kind of falls into the same category. Not quite as ugly, but the fact that if we take good care of it, it does have all the new current hardware, so we're getting the full self-driving package, and we should be able to take all the advancements of technology, at least for the foreseeable future, and have a great car really going ahead. So we're excited about that, but I've probably been showing you some B-roll of the Model S that I took earlier today because I do want to really remember this and savor all the great times and education and really fast launches. This isn't a performance model, but this was the first car I've owned that can really rocket up to 60 and above if you need to. And so it's just been a great experience, and I'm really sad to see it go, but it is the right move and the right time for us to make this switch. So I'm not trying to be a downer and give a eulogy here, but I just want to say that if you're just dipping your toe into the EV world and looking for a cheap option to get in, and you want to go with Tesla because of the supercharger network, and this is still a great car. At 6 years old, it's still really fun to drive and really capable. And a part of me is really going to miss it. But assuming all goes well, tonight we're going to flip that switch, go over to a Model Y, and adjust to that different driving experience. So more to come on that. But like I said, we've had a really great time having Elwood here, and we can't wait till Jake's out of prison and with us. Ideally, we would have loved to keep both of them, but that's just not in the financial cards. So we're switching from one to the other, and gonna have to make do there. Welcome to Saturday morning, and here is Jake. Jake was dropped off last night, spent a short time in the driveway with Elwood, and we had a pretty slick delivery process. Originally, we were going to try to get everything arranged so we could take delivery Thursday night. The credit union took a little while to get things processed, and so they were ready Friday morning. So we took delivery last night, Friday night. The initial walk around and everything last night looked really spectacular. Everything seems to be aligned in even ways and looks great all around. We took it out for a little family drive once I got the car seat in, and just great, really good feel. My wife took it out first and obviously was very comfortable as a passenger, but then on the way home then I took over driving, and it seemed a little sloshy at first, and then I realized that I had it in comfort mode and I'm used to standard in the Model S. So the difference of being in comfort mode and being higher up was quite a difference. So put it in standard mode and felt pretty normal. The seating position is so much higher than the Model S. We were behind some small minivans and some different crossover SUVs, and it felt like you could almost see over them. Now I know I'm coming from a low car and going to a medium-high driving position, but that felt great. And like the 3 I was able to drive last week, without the binnacle screen behind the wheel, just you have this giant picture window view of the road ahead of you. So it's really great visibility as far as I could tell in these first initial drives. This is the first time my wife or I have ever owned a new car. And so one thing I forgot to check right away was how many miles it had when it was dropped off. The car was dropped off to us from Eden Prairie, and then we did our little drive, and then I think I even ran one other errand out to get some groceries quick last night. And when I got back and checked the app, it only had 45 miles on it. That just boggled my mind that it would have that few miles. I know that's what a new car is, but still, for us, that just seemed bonkers. So, pretty fun there. Another thing I forgot to mention was that they offered to do the home delivery. We aren't that far from the service center, so we were happy to do the swap up there, but it seemed to be more convenient for them to just drop it off to us. That was great. We were able to do a little bit of kid wrangling a little easier, obviously at home, and to have them both in the driveway at the same time. AJ came down from the Eden Prairie Service Center, brought Jake with her, pulled in. We did the paperwork right in the trunk. She was here probably for about a half an hour, and great, very friendly, helpful. Didn't have too many questions for her, but just kind of made sure all of our bases were covered. So super experience, even if it was a little surreal that it was happening in our driveway and not at a service center or a dealership or some other location. Cool Tesla experience there, kind of like the mobile service where they just come to you. So highly recommend. I also want to give a big shout out to Aiden from the Eden Prairie Service Center, who did a great job managing the switch from our rear-wheel drive order to the new all-wheel drive order, and also letting us know that, hey, they had one in stock and we could take delivery. And although it was a very quick process and a little frantic, he was very helpful, and we were communicating by phone and by text and email, and just really helpful every step of the way. So I want to give a big thank you to him. By the time we got the paperwork signed and the car seat in, it was already starting to get dark, so we did our kind of initial drive at dusk and then in the dark. When we got home, made sure it fit in the garage. Our garage is very low, so we very gingerly pulled it in, and that first time it's always weird getting a feel for how big the vehicle is when you're going through tight spaces. But that all went fine. We put our daughter to bed and then came back out at about 10:30ish last night just to see how the games worked. So just on a whim, decided to try some beach buggy racing. Lots of fun. Little learning curve getting the right wheel twist and everything, but super fun. Then my wife discovered karaoke, and so we played with that for a long time, just belting it out in the garage. That was a lot of fun. In fact, by 11:15, we were still doing the karaoke thing. I had to go in and use the restroom and decided I was done for the night, but my wife stayed out there for another half hour exploring the UI and then doing more and more karaoke songs. So far it's a big hit, and we're all pretty happy with it. So this morning then, I was up early and did a really thorough examination of everywhere in the car, looked through all the gaps and everything, because if you have an issue after you take delivery, they want you to report any of those issues within 24 hours. So I wanted to make sure, while it was nice and bright out this morning, that I took a good look all the way around the car to see if I could find any flaws. And on my first pass, I couldn't find a single thing. A little piece of tape that hadn't been removed on a piece of glass that came off easily. Really tiny things like that. And then on my second pass, going over everything one more time, I did find one paint flaw on the back panel where the quarter panel kind of meets the bumper there. And I'll show you a clip in B-roll here, but it looks like just a little bit of paint is chipped off the primer. I think that's what it is. The green seems to be primer underneath. And I did try to take a little microfiber cloth and see if it was something I could wipe away. I had noticed a little white speck elsewhere on my first go around, and it turned out that was just a little wax or adhesive or something that easily wiped away. But this seems to be like a flaw that Tesla's going to have to take care of, so I'm going to put in a service note for that. But that is the only thing I can find going over it with a pretty fine tooth comb. So underneath looks great, the inside looks amazing, everything seems to function correctly. Yeah, I'm just very, very happy with it. So one minor flaw that I'm sure they're going to take care of, and hopefully soon. And then I've got a bid request out for getting paint protection film on the whole thing. Originally we were thinking maybe just the front, but seeing how my daughter likes to climb in the back and tap the sides pretty good as she's walking around it, I think it's best if we just do the whole thing. We're planning on having this vehicle for 10 plus years, hopefully in the realm of 12 years. So everything we can do to it now to make sure it is perfect as long as it possibly can be, that's gonna hopefully pay off over time. We've had our Prius over 12 years and that's still holding up, but it's showing some signs of rust around the doors and some other areas that we've had some of them taken care of, but some of them are cropping up again. So we don't want that to be the case with the Tesla, and we want to keep this as nice as long as possible and drive it forever. And speaking of driving, we did get the full self-driving package on this vehicle. So when we reserved this originally in March of 2019, the price of FSD was $6,000, which is still a lot of money. But we were able to switch this from the rear-wheel drive model we had originally reserved. Since it doesn't seem like they're making that variation, we were able to switch this to all-wheel drive and keep that FSD price. So we went ahead and made that leap. And already coming from the MCU1, we can tell there's a monstrous improvement in the user interface and what the car can see. Obviously that had just the front cameras, and we haven't had too much time to play with navigate on autopilot and stuff yet, but hopefully going to do some more of that today. But you can already tell it's much more aware of its place on the road, and the lane changes are more confident and, well, maybe not more confident, but I'm more confident in them. AP1 does a great job, and it pretty much goes. If it can't sense something, it's going to go there. And it's pretty cautious and pretty good, but this seems to have a better handle on, oh, something's coming up behind me quickly in that lane or something. So more testing will be done on that. This is our first impression, and super excited to do more testing with it. I want to do some of those range tests so we can compare. Some of these things I've been planning for a year plus. So more videos will be coming out on that. But I do have one more video coming out with the Model S, one more road trip. Last weekend, my brother and I drove a friend's Model 3 from here up to northern North Dakota. And that was a pretty quick turnaround. We left on a Friday night, got back on a Sunday morning. Mostly a great trip, but we had one charging issue. So I definitely want to share that experience with you and our thoughts and experiences there. But that road trip was pretty cool because we got a chance to kind of side-by-side test a Model 3 and a Model S, the older Model S, and kind of see the difference in charging speeds and just the traveling difference. So, and for me, it was a great experience to get used to the center screen before we took delivery of the Y, which last week I had no idea that was going to happen this quickly. So look for that final Model S road trip video probably next week. One other thing that happened on the road trip was the Model 3 that we were driving belonged to a friend, Roland, in North Dakota, up in Williston, North Dakota. And he actually made this hat with my channel logo on it, which is pretty sweet. So wanted to give him a shout out, and actually made us this shirt as well. So again, the Model Y came faster than we expected, but that's pretty cool. So thank you, Roland, and we'll see about, right now I don't have any merch or anything, but we'll see if we want to do some hats or some other designs or stuff through the channel. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know, and we'll see if we can come up with some stuff. So in the meantime, I'll keep filming and doing more tests with the new Model Y, and keep you up to speed on how that paint repair is going to go, and take you on the journey with us. This afternoon, my daughter and I are going to participate in a birthday drive with the rest of the Minnesota Tesla Club. So we're going to do that up in Minneapolis. Kind of go by, wave, big parade of Teslas, should be pretty fun. And then do a socially distanced gathering at a parking lot nearby after that. So a lot of people in the club are excited to see the new car, and I'm excited to share it with them. So a lot more coming soon. Stay tuned. Thank you for coming on this electric journey with us, and can't wait to show you what's next. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.